Hi, it's Therese from Lost in Paper and I'm here for Altenew, and today I'm going to be doing a repeated sentiment background using my well-loved Label Love stamp set. So this is a really great set because it can be used, has like so many different sentiments that can be used for so many occasions, but today I'm going to be making a retirement card. And I want it to be a large card, so this is like half of an A4 size, and I want it to be nice and bright because it's for a man. So as you know, men can be a little bit more difficult to make cards for. It's not their fault, it's just they don't like the things that we like flowers and frills and sparkles and bling and glitter and all the really good stuff. So what I decided to do was make it all bright and cheery and add a couple of techniques in along the way. So because it's a masculine design, I chose some colours that I thought would work really well together and be fun. So they are the two newer bright greens, like the bamboo and the parrot. The orange from the Warm and Cozy set, I've got the sun-kissed and orange cream, and I added a blue in there, which is the Ocean Waves, and one of my favourite blues for Altenew. And I also brought in limestone as a neutral. So I've alternated where the sentiments are over the pattern. I've looked at the colours across the pattern and sort of spread them out to make them balance, if that makes sense. And I've done the same thing with the lines. And I've just eyeballed this. I didn't bother actually stamping it perfectly because I am going to be die cutting through it as well. So you're not going to notice these little imperfections, hopefully. But if you were really worried about how it's going to look, you could use like a misty or a positioning tool. So I have got the bold alphabet die set, and this is a large sentiment die cutting set, and it's a nice modern font, so I thought this would work well in a masculine design. And what I'm doing here is I'm sorting out how I want my letters to sit on the pattern. Now, I did know that I wasn't going to be able to fit the whole word retirement in one go, like in one long word. I could have done a DL, like a long card, to try and make it work, but I just thought it'd be a bit of fun to have it, have the whole thing over 3 lines. So there aren't enough dies, you know, because there's repeated letters within the set. So for me to kind of get my positioning right, I just have a few scrap letters that I have in the packet, or I just use one of the other dies within the set that's kind of a similar size, and then I can actually just move things around on the card front and until I'm sort of happy with the position of all the dies. And one good thing about having stamped out lines in a sentiment is I can actually use these lines to help me do the die cutting. So I do have to do this in stages because I don't have enough, obviously, letters, and I don't want to be trying to run the whole thing through my die cutting machine. And anyway, so I just find it easier to work on one word at a time and work my way across. But I am taking note of the which line I'm sitting the dies on, or where they're sitting on the line, on the stamping line, and also how close they are together, so that I can try and keep it you know, sort of similar throughout the whole die cutting process. I do find it quite a challenge to make a larger card, and that's one good thing about these letters is they you know, when you've got a sentiment like this, it pretty much becomes the focus of the whole card, because I'm going to be doing some inlaid die cutting here, just in case you haven't noticed. And hats off to you guys that make scrapbook layouts. I just would never know where to start. It's just very daunting for me. You guys are amazing. Alright, so I'm on my last portion of the sentiment now, and I am keeping every part of the letter. So I'm keeping any sort of, not that there's a lot of, you know, what do you call it? The middle of the letter. There's not that there's a lot of letters here that have centers in them, but you do have to keep all the portions, like the actual letter and the inner bits as well. I've die cut both the words out again. This is in some black fun foam. I'm leaving it in place within the fun foam, adding some matte medium, and then adhering my letters on top. And once I've done that, I won't make you sit through the whole lot here. I just set this aside to dry really well. So now it's time to adhere my actual panel. This is the die cut panel to the front of my card, and basically I've just got an A4 piece of cardstock, folded it in half, and it's a top fold sort of landscape style card. And I'm using the dotted adhesive, which is perfect for this technique because it's only going to attach to the cardstock where the dots are. So I'm not going to have stray bits of glue sort of hanging over the edges that I've got to deal with. And I am making sure to add it to all of the die cut portions of the letters that are there, just so I can make sure that it will stay stuck down. You could use ATG adhesive, you could use the double-sided stamp sheets. That's another way of doing it. Like, you could actually have adhered it behind this before you did all the die cutting, but this dotted adhesive works perfectly for me, and I find it just easier. I don't have to think about things before I do them. I have removed all the centers, or the black centers of fun foam from the letters, and then I can just pick up the pieces and just make sure that you get the correct pieces. These are the ones that I kept from the die cutting, and I've made sure to add glue in behind all the letters, and especially where those center pieces are going to stick, and adhere the whole thing in place and just set it aside to dry. I did pop a little book on it. I tried not to use too much glue because I don't want this to warp. So that's my finished card for today. I hope you've had a blast. I'll be back again real soon. Till next time, happy paper crafting. Bye.